Time for some more EV news once again, with Tesla and the Chinese companies, especially BYD, dominating the stories. Hi there, Grumpy here with a few more tidbits of news in the EV world. But before I start, just please click the like and subscribe buttons, cost you nothing. CATL, the largest battery manufacturer, has delayed its decision to build a North American battery plant, just as the Speaker Nancy Pelosi visits Taiwan. This new plant would have provided both Tesla and Ford with batteries for their EVs. CATL didn't provide any additional comment on the delay, and they did not confirm that it was made, if they made the decision, or whether it was requested by some authority in China. But, Now, Tesla's destination chargers, Gen 3, can have the Tesla commercial services enabled, meaning that the owner can charge people to use the charger, not only with Teslas, but with any make of EV. And this would suit apartment complexes, hotels, and many businesses who could now install these Gen 3 chargers and have their customers charge up for a fee. And this could pave the way for even more chargers, especially in high density commercial zones, looking to electrify the parking areas for both customers and employees, but without having to fork out the expense of all the power themselves. It would be good to know if this is available in Australia or not. The first batch of Chinese built Model Ys have landed in Australia. So delivery of these first Model Ys should begin very shortly for some lucky customers. I've checked with my Model Y and it has now had its passport stamped on the 1st of August. So it's in the country. Now just got to wait a while, which is what Western Australia or WA stands for it to get over here. Thousands of Model Ys and 3s are in transit for delivery over the next couple of months. And this will really bolster the Q3 sales figures for Tesla. All these Model Ys that are coming in are just the rear wheel drive version with the LFP batteries. And Tesla shipping tracker Vida Prime has said that the ships coming have started earlier than previous quarters and that there are multiple ships on the way. Let the excitement begin. There's a project called Charge Around Australia, which is a collaboration between Charge Around Britain and the University of Newcastle in Australia. And they're planning on driving around the Australian coast, which will be some 9,380 miles or 15,097 kilometres, powered by solar energy. They're going to be using portable printed solar cells to enable off-grid EV charging, especially in the areas where established charging stations are just not available. This technology, known as organic photovoltaics, has been pioneered by Professor Paul Dastoor and his team at Newcastle University. According to the team, they're going to be using 18 printed solar sheets, each of which will be 18 metres long, and they'll be rolled up and stored in the boot of the car when not in use. They estimate adding over 100 miles or 160 kilometres of range with a 6-hour charge time. Sounds like a lot of effort, but these things, they have to start somewhere, so good luck to them. As all Tesla owners are aware, the over-the-air updates for the software means that your car just gets better and better. I've had mine 2.5 years and it's now twice the car it was when I got it back then. Now, the next major release of the software will be 2022.24, and it's already started to trickle out. And it's been reported that this version will allow you to be able to reposition the blind spot video. When you turn on the indicator, you get the side camera coming up on the screen. My initial gripe when this was released last year was the position of the video is obstructed by your hand holding the steering wheel. And back then I said, would be really nice if we could change its position. Well, finally, it looks like you'll be able to. You should be able to choose whether it shows in one of 3 positions, The original in Australia, we drive on the right, so it'll be bottom left, bottom right of the screen. You can put it in the top right of the screen or the top right of the map area, and you can drag and it will stop there. So hopefully that will be useful. Be able to actually see it instead of driving and it's covered up by your hand. And also in this update, the much awaited cloud profiles should be included. Now Tesla call this feature Tesla profiles, but it will mean that you can tie your profile to your Tesla account, so the settings can travel with you from Tesla to Tesla. So when you're away from home and you rent one, your profile, all the settings that you like will be there. Here in Australia, we had a Prime Minister that famously said, EVs will ruin the weekend. Dickhead. Well, Hyundai Ioniq 5 has just officially ruined that statement by winning the Best Tow Car Award. Some of the off-road four-wheel drive EVs with good tow ratings and so on have been released in the USA, but not yet here in Australia, except for the Hyundai Ioniq 5. But that hasn't stopped Hyundai with its Ioniq 5 EV. The Royal Dutch Touring Club 2022 Tow Car of the Year was awarded to the Ioniq 5. It's the first EV to ever get awarded that. In these pictures that I've been showing, it was towing a 6-berth, 7.5 metre caravan that fitted within its 1,600 kilogram towing capacity, which by chance happens to be the same towing capacity as the Model Y that I'll be getting. But the Hyundai Ioniq 5 has got that wonderful vehicle to load feature. So when you get to your campsite, you've got your own power pack, which is very useful. EV deliveries ground to a halt in July in Australia. We had a massive number, 600 EVs getting into customers' hands. Tesla accounted for just 4. Yes, 4 of those, whilst Hyundai delivered 83 Kona EVs, 25 Ioniq 5s, 69 Ioniqs, and accounted for 177 of the total deliveries. Volvo topped the sales with just under 100 EVs delivered in July, and they were its Polestar. However, looking at the total figures for this year so far, Tesla Model 3 is way out in the lead. With the arrival of the Model Y, Tesla is going to dominate the sales figures yet again this year. BYD's Atto 3, known as the Yuan Plus in China, was only launched in China in February this year, and soon after pre-sales were available in Australia. BYD announced on Twitter that they've shipped 1,000 vehicles to Australia. Where's mine? 2 models are currently available in Australia, but it appears that only the long-range version with the 60.5 kilowatt-hour battery is arriving first, with the standard range with a 49.9 kilowatt-hour battery or thereabouts coming later. But in China, it's available in 5 different versions. Now, BYD also just announced at the beginning of August that they've appointed Shlomo Motors as its national dealer in Israel. And just the day before, they'd announced an expansion into Japan. And also, they announced that they're expanding into Germany and Sweden as well. And BYD are clearly accelerating their car business overseas. The first car shipment to Israel should be arriving in Q3 this year. Now, BYD buses are already selling well in Israel, so this will just add to their presence there. First car shipments to Germany and Sweden are accounted for Q4 this year. And back to CATL, or CATL, it retains its position as the #1 battery maker in the world, followed by LG Energy and BYD. For the first half of this year, they had 34.8% of the global battery market, and that equates to 70.9 gigawatt hours of batteries. BYD's figures of 11.8% is up 5% from last year. CATL supply batteries to many EV makers and include Ford and Tesla in that. But now they've announced they're also going to be selling to Kia. CATL or CATL have also announced that they're supplying Tesla China with their new M3P battery, which is an LMFP or lithium manganese iron phosphate chemistry. And it's going to be a 72 kilowatt hour pack. And they say they're going to start delivery to Tesla towards the end of this year, and then it will be delivered in the cars early 2023. Now, this is most likely to go into a Model Y in China. Tesla are also developing the LMFP batteries, but will need the CATL ones to supply them early on whilst their development is ongoing. Now, these LMFP or M3P batteries are about 15% higher energy density than the plain LFP batteries, and they come in at around 210 watt hours per kilogram, but the cost is about the same as the LFP. It's unclear how Tesla are going to utilize these batteries, but if they put them into the rear wheel drive Model Y, which is what I've got, it will get a range close to that of the long range version. So it's a bit confusing. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, some sales figures have started to become available in China. Xpeng or Xiaopeng reported sales of 11,524 vehicles for July. It's down on its June figures, but it's not too bad. Li Auto also had lower figures in July compared to June, having sold 10,422 vehicles. But of course, BYD once again had a record month of deliveries. July sales, wait for it, 162,530, which is up 21.2%, 21.26% on June. Now, 4,026 of these were overseas sales. And this is the first time they've actually provided overseas sales figures. So hopefully they'll keep that going. Now, this sales figure of over 162,000 was comprised almost 50-50 pure battery electric vehicle and what they class as new energy, which is basically plug-in hybrids. That's about 50-50. So 80,000 each. But still, 80,000 battery electric vehicles, really good. So there you have it, another news roundup done and dusted. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons. It does cost you nothing, but it does help the channel grow. Thanks very much. See you all soon.